Hey Radha, welcome
Hi,
to
Chirag.
WebEngage.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking out your time and agreeing to do this. My name is Chirag. I lead the content marketing and special projects teams here at WebEngage. For all the viewers who are viewing this for the first time, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and what you do currently, that would set the tone for the rest of the session.
Yeah, sure, Chirag. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. I'm really honored. And yeah, I'm Radha Tulsyan. I belong to Bihar. Currently, I'm working with Disney Plus Hotstar in their retention and growth department.
Wow.
And I graduated from IIM Lucknow in 2019 in marketing stream only. And before Hotstar, I was working with Pepperfry for good 3.5 years. And very recently, I made the switch. And yeah, I'm based out of Gurgaon, and therefore we could meet.
Nice, nice. So, help me understand your journey correctly.
Okay.
You did B.Sc, then you went to IIM,
Yeah.
learned marketing. From
Yeah.
there, you got into Pepperfry, and from there to Hotstar. And
Yes.
I'm pretty sure retention was never a conscious career choice for you. How did you land up or paradrop in retention?
Okay, that's yeah. It was not a, I mean, conscious choice as you called it. But yeah, so basically, when I started working with Pepperfry, I was part of marketing team, and then retention happened, and I'm so glad that it happened. Today, I am kind of, and even in Hotstar, I'm into the same profile, retention and growth. Uh, why, if you ask me, why did I stick to retention? See, I think customer acquisition is important. It's challenging, but I feel that retention is even more challenging. And I think that has been my forte since childhood. I love challenges in life. And even the reason I'm a non-engineer, I was the only girl in my batch with a B.Sc mathematics background. So challenges are something I really want, I love in life, because every day you got to learn things. And retention is a challenge for every company, I guess, because making people or your customers or users believe that this is for you, and this is what you have loved, and you should try it again, is difficult. And once you have done that, let's say 40% retention rate, 50% retention rate, you have won the game. I'm telling you, you have won
Wow.
the game.
And to be very honest, 50% retention rate is pretty unheard of in today's market for most e-commerce and consumer businesses, right?
Definitely.
So obviously, with great challenges that you face, there must be a whole lot of learnings that you've garnered as well.
Definitely.
And if you could go back in time and teach your younger self one thing that you learned very late in your career, what would that be?
Okay. Okay, so let me divide this. Let me segregate this into professional and personal, maybe. And in case of personal, if I go 2 years back or 3 years back, when I just started my career, I think one thing that I could have done better, or I would teach to my younger MT management training, that time management is everything. Not that I am able to do it 100% perfectly today, but I am there. At that time I was not able to, I guess. So yeah, in corporates, in corporate and time management with a good prioritization technique. So if you're able to prioritize what you want to do within the given timelines that you have, that is basically uh, bliss for a person who is working in corporates. And I think you must have experienced that. And yeah, and coming to the personal side, and if I have to teach to my younger self, I think, yeah, थोड़ा chill करो life में. I don't think I ever chilled in life, and now I think that I should have chilled.
Nice. So, rather with high growth professionals such as ourselves, we often face a lot of challenges in terms of personal drawbacks or people around us or even the processes that we work in. Right? If you could change one thing in the way you work today that could set probably the next 10 years of your career, what would you change?
Okay, so this is personal plus professional, and I learned this from my current manager, and it just stuck into my head. I'm telling you, she guided me, or she told me that never stick to your manager. Never stick to your manager. your
Wow.
reporting manager. And I'll tell you how this helps. Like, so what happens, like, if in a daily work environment, if you are faced with any challenges, or you're stuck somewhere, you run to your manager, you ask questions. So somewhere I was anchored to my managers always. I look forward to them to guide me. And something that I have learned, that never be anchored to your manager. It it might just create a very different perspective today in lots of minds, but that helps a lot in building very good and large network in corporate world. So if you don't anchor to your manager, you talk to everybody who can solve your problem. It will help you not restrict yourself. It will help you grow. It will help you learn about things that other verticals are doing. Because normally, if you keep talking to your manager, or you skip level for that matter, you will just be stuck in retention growth. But let's say today I'm with Hotstar, and I work to a person who's working with the content team, or a person who is working with ads team, and I get to know a lot. I get to learn a lot, and it just expands my learning horizon. It just broadens life for me.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
With that said, we come to the next leg of the segment, which is
Okay.
called Never Have I
Oh
Ever.
my god.
I'm going to give you this card. You can raise this if you have done it, or you can raise this if you've never done it. So I'll ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you can choose to answer them or not answer them.
Okay.
And if
Thank
you
for
do
that
choose,
choice.
and if you do choose to answer it, please do help me with some justification around it. So let me start with the first question.
Yeah.
Never have I ever created a failed campaign and then blamed it on others. Do you want to justify this?
Sometimes it just happens that in the interest of time, you just take things live, you just execute it, that you do not have time to evaluate the expected projections or expected outcomes, and you just take it live because people are asking you to do that, and then you definitely blame them when it does not perform. So yeah, I have.
I know there's one more question that's going to come later on in this segment, which I already know the answer to based on the answer that you just
Oh
gave
my
me.
god.
But coming to the next one, never have I ever sent a campaign with failed personalization tags.
I never.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, even I have done that so many times. I'm actually shocked, right?
Then today I'm teaching you that you should not do it. See, personalization is the future. Marketing automation, may personalization is the key.
Okay.
And
Lesson learned.
especially in today's world, where every consumer is so intelligent. I'm telling you, because they are like us. They are not old generation wali consumers, like you will say 50 off and they will be like happy, because they know that you increased it to 2000 and then made it 1500, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be more intelligent to deal with them, and you can't afford to be less personalized. I'm telling you.
Okay, lesson learned. You will all receive very personalized emails from now on from WebEngage.
Yeah.
Coming to the next one. Never have I ever tweaked my reports to save my ass.
I would like to be really honest here. I've never done that.
See,
No
ultimately,
justifications required, I guess.
yeah,
it's just my principles.
data never lies.
It's just your principles. It's very personal. You can't just do that. You have to be honest.
So if you're planning to be the next 30 under 30 winner, ethics is something that you need to look forward to.
Definitely.
Okay. So coming to the next one. Never have I ever sprayed my campaigns to achieve my month-end numbers.
Can you elaborate on that?
So you picked up your entire database and just sprayed a campaign, hoping for conversions or something.
I have.
You've done that, right?
I have. It's mostly during events, occasions, that you have millions of users or you have lakhs of users, and you just try spraying and praying method for once in a while. I'm not saying that this should be your technique, but yeah, once in a while it just helps you. If not ROI, getting the absolutes.
Did it ever backfire to you?
Yeah, it does in terms of ROI again, because you spend a lot and you do not get that much revenue. But once in a while, it's okay.
It's okay to do so.
Yeah, it's okay. See, again, I'm not saying that it should be a practice because it should not be a practice. It should not. But let's say if it's Diwali and you just want to experience the luck, maybe you
Experiencing the life. I like that.
you just you just pray and pray.
Super. Coming to the last question, right? Never have I ever picked a bone with my manager because he or she asked me to run a campaign that did not make sense or was stupid in nature.
I have. I have.
You have?
Yeah. So, see, sometimes it just we don't just work with our managers. We work with various stakeholders, and not just my manager. Maybe a stakeholder can ask me to do things which I don't want to do. I believe in data a lot. I make data-driven decisions. So, if I have a good, very strong logic to not do things they ask me to do, I take a stand. I tell them. I justify my answer, and yeah, I have done that in past.
Super. So, when you take a stand, is it purely data driven or purely experience driven or on the basis of hunch that you know that this will not work? What is the basis of you putting your foot down?
See, in my experience, I've realized that hunch does not work. So people will not believe if you say, I feel this. Okay, you will have to give some proof, and it just makes your argument stronger. It is data, obviously. 60% it's data, 40% is the previous learnings. So I'll take Hotstar example. We do a lot of experimentations, A/B experiments, A, B, C, D, whatever you call it. We do a lot of experiments, and every time we have a learning from any past experiment. If we do not have, then proxies, obviously. But every time you will have something to prove your point. And yeah, data and plus some learnings from past helps you.
So, a 60-40 split between data and past experiences.
Yeah, can say.
That's interesting. That's interesting. With that said, rather we come to the end of this conversation. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
taking out your time and a way to do this. I really loved your insights and that point very specifically about not sticking to your manager. And I'm sure that's a valuable learning for everybody who's viewing this as
Yeah.
well. Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you so much, Chirag.